It started like any other morning. A nurse shows up for work. Same badge, same smile, no questions. But within minutes, that calm routine cracks wide open. A bag check, a strange smell, and suddenly, the system isn't as secure as it seemed. What they found didn't just raise eyebrows, it opened a door, one that led straight into the heart of a criminal network, hiding in plain sight. This wasn't a one-off, this was layered, personal, organized, dangerous, and at the center of it, a woman trained to protect the vulnerable, now helping run drugs, phones, and fear through the prison gates. The truth didn't just sit in cells, it spread to bedrooms, bank accounts, and family homes across the country. This isn't just about one woman, it's about how far people will go for money, for love, or for power behind bars. This is the Lindholm conspiracy, and what happened next shook the system to its core. This is the story of a prison nurse and how she became the entry point for the largest drug operation ever run inside a British jail. Welcome to Unveiled Crime Mysteries channel, where I unveil mysterious true crimes, some lost to time, others fresh in memory. Justice might not be served, but the shadow is unveiled. Hatfield wasn't new to the job. She'd started at Lindholm in September 2018 as a mental health support worker. Her role was to monitor inmates who were struggling, those showing signs of breakdown, trauma, or suicidal thoughts. It was private, trusted work. It let her move around the prison with little supervision. To most, she looked sharp, efficient, reliable. She didn't stand out, kept her head down, got on with it. But now, looking back, the signs were there. She was booking certain inmates in for mental health sessions, far more than guidelines allowed. While some waited weeks to be seen, a select few were getting in too, sometimes 3 times a week, always the same names. No one flagged it. She was trusted. Behind those closed-door sessions, something else was happening. She passed things, quietly. Tiny bundles slipped into folders, dropped off during checks. No shouting, no struggle, just chats, paperwork, quick handovers. No one clocked it. These drugs weren't being thrown over fences. They were being walked in, shift by shift. And Hatfield wasn't a helper on the side. She was the key. The woman hired to help inmates cope was the one fueling their addictions. Things shifted in summer 2019. That's when Hatfield started seeing more of inmate Joseph Whittingham. At first it was subtle, more sessions, longer ones, closed doors. Staff started to notice how often it was happening. Some raised eyebrows, others assumed it was just part of the job. What they didn't see was that Hatfield had crossed a line. She wasn't just working, she was emotionally involved, infatuated even. Whittingham already had time to serve, but inside those walls he carried weight. He had reach, connections, and now, with Hatfield, he had something more valuable than all of it, a direct link in and out. Their affair moved fast. They had sexual contact during her shifts, used smuggled phones to swap explicit photos, talked about life after prison. Love letters were later found hidden inside cells, full of plans, coded messages, promises. Both had partners on the outside. Neither cared. This wasn't just about lust, it was calculated. Whittingham knew how to pull strings. Hatfield, trained to spot manipulation, didn't see it. Or maybe she did, but by then she was too far in. She wasn't just falling for him, she was part of it. Then there was Lucy Whittingham, Joseph's wife. She played the part of the quiet spouse, but the bank records said otherwise. Payments tied to prison deals. Regular. Traceable. Alongside her was Joseph's dad, Paul Whittingham, 59. He got caught shifting money, linked to the same network. Leighton Kemp, 29, wasn't family, but he was close to Jordan Needham. He helped arrange drops. He moved money. His digital footprint didn't lie. Call logs, texts, all lining up with Hatfield's delivery windows. Cora Haley, 30, was dating inmate Anise Williamson. CCTV caught her red-handed. She passed a package during a visit. Phone records linked her to drug talks and to Natalie Williamson, Anise's sister. Natalie, 35, ran her own side of the chain. She held cash, sent out instructions, moved profits. Texts from Haley's phone showed Natalie asking for money. Same day, she said, Lydia Pinnington, 23, was tied to Campbell's crew. Her phone held messages about moving drug money. She beat the conspiracy charge, but still pleaded guilty to laundering funds. Then there was Lee Holmes, 44, no blood ties, but still in deep DNA matched drugs taken from Hatfield. He'd visited her flat more than once in the weeks before the arrest, and the final link, William Francis, 56. He was already under suspicion in another smuggling case, but financial records tied him straight to Lindholm. He confessed, heroin, spice, cannabis, supplied straight into the system, from Nottingham to Liverpool, Bradford to Shipley. This wasn't just one gang, it was spread out. Quiet homes, ordinary names. Sons, daughters, mums, dads. Some claimed they were misled, others admitted they knew every part. They weren't just helping inmates, they were the network's heartbeat. And Amy Hatfield, she wasn't the only route in. As police dug deeper, they found more people, more methods. The Lindholm network had evolved. It adapted with every crack in the system. Some of it was loud, some of it slipped through quietly, but every move was planned. Drones came first, quick, light, silent. They dropped bundles into the yard under cover of night. No contact, just a pin drop, and someone waiting. Then came catapults. High fences weren't a problem, just something to aim over. They launched parcels from nearby land. Socks, food wrappers, anything that could hide a wrap. On the inside, someone always knew when to pick it up. Legal mail was next. Letters marked confidential, carried spice-soaked paper. Some hid SIM cards. Staff were overwhelmed. Too many papers, not enough eyes. Too risky to check without breaching law. Then came visits, social, medical, or completely made up. One time, Cora Haley passed off a package in full view of CCTV. Quick hand, tight camera angle, no hesitation. Even hospital referrals were part of the plan. Inmates faked symptoms just to get out, just to meet someone off-site. Every loophole was tested. Some worked, some didn't, but none of it was random. The Lindholm crew didn't just exploit people, they exploited routines, documents, schedules, understaffed wings. They banked on no one looking twice, and for a while they were right. It went on for more than a year. The drugs kept flowing, so did the money. Inside, inmates had whatever they wanted, but behind the scenes, someone was watching. Anti-corruption officers had their eyes on Hatfield. It started with a whisper, talk of a relationship with a prisoner, unusual patterns, odd behavior, wealth she couldn't explain. And then on October 24th, 2019, just after 7 a.m., they moved in. She was stopped at the gates. They searched her bag, 4 bottles of Rabena, but it wasn't juice, it was spice, 2 liters of it, enough to drench sheets, enough to flood a whole wing, and that was just the surface. They found MDMA, ketamine, cannabis, steroids, prescription pills, tobacco, all together worth over £1 million behind bars. They also pulled out phones, SIM cards, charging leads, everything double-wrapped and hidden in everyday stuff, all of it prepped with care, nothing left to chance. Even blades were tucked inside, carbon fiber knives, hidden sharp, ready. Hatfield didn't kick off. She just said, "I have some stuff on me." But that wasn't the end. Officers searched her office. They found more spice, packaging, notes. Then they checked her phone. It lit up with contacts, messages, and bank transfers, all pointing back to prisoners and their families. Cells got raided, phones were seized, drugs found, handwritten bank details, every bit of it now evidence. Then came the big strike. December 18th, early morning, police raided multiple homes, 60 officers, dozens of properties. They hit Nottingham, Liverpool, Bradford, and beyond. Arrests came fast, each phone scanned, each account tracked. A single bag search had brought down the largest prison drug conspiracy the UK had ever seen. The case didn't move fast. 4 years of slow, careful investigation followed. One by one, names were locked in. Then came April 2023. Courtrooms opened. Sheffield Crown Court, one of the biggest prison cases ever tried in Britain. All 17 suspects faced trial over 19 weeks. The Crown brought it all. Thousands of texts, surveillance logs, bank records, drug forensics. The network was complex, organized, strategic. Families helped move the money. Friends helped shift the gear. Prosecutor Gordon Stables told the court, essentially any drugs inmates sought were made available inside HMP Lindholm. He pointed to the 7 deaths, all tied to the height of the conspiracy. Most pleaded guilty early, a few pushed back. Paul Whittingham, Lydia Pinnington, they fought elements of their charges. Some said they were pressured, others claimed they didn't know what they were involved in. The court didn't buy it. Too many messages, too many payments, too much planning. Judge Kirsty Watson led the courtroom. No softness in her words. She called the plot an instrument of exploitation, oppression and power. She spoke straight to Hatfield.
said her relationship with Whittingham was a significant breach of trust, said she'd used her job to convey prohibited items for financial gain. Then came the sentences. Amy Hatfield, 10 years and 2 months. Joseph Whittingham, another 11 years and 4 months on top of his existing time. Anthony Campbell, 11 more years. Jordan Needham, 9 years and 6 months. More would follow.
Kieran Murphy, 26, from HMP York, was next. He'd already admitted to moving drugs and phones. Now he was found guilty of smuggling knives into prison. His sentence, 7 years and 9 months. Courtney Ward, 26, from Nottingham, admitted her part. She helped supply Class A and B drugs. She was sentenced to 4 years and 6 months. Audrey Needham, 56, same address, convicted of supplying drugs and laundering the profits. She got 4 years and 3 months. Then came one of the masterminds, Deborah Stoddard, 56, from Liverpool. She wasn't just involved, she was directing it. She pleaded guilty to supplying drugs, sneaking phones and knives into prison, and washing the money. She got 9 years and 6 months. Leighton Kemp, 29, from Nottingham, also confessed. He moved the phones, he moved the drugs, and he helped clean the money. He was jailed for 5 years. Cora Haley, 30, from Bradford, was caught in the act, seen passing packages on visits. She got 3 years and 4 months for drug supply, phone smuggling and laundering cash. Anise Williamson, 30, serving time at HMP Leeds. He admitted to smuggling Class B drugs and phones. 5 years and 5 months added to his sentence. Natalie Williamson, 35, from Shipley. She admitted to laundering and being involved in the drug supply. She got 12 months inside. Lee Holmes, 44, from County Durham, found guilty of supplying Class B drugs, bringing them into prison, and laundering proceeds. 2 years and 3 months. Then came the Whittinghams. Lucy, 37, and Paul, 59, are both from Bradford. They admitted to laundering money for Joseph and for each other. Lucy received a 2-year suspended sentence. Paul was given 20 months suspended sentence and a community order. Lydia Pinnington, 23, from Liverpool. She pleaded guilty to money laundering. Her sentence was 14 months suspended with a community order. Admitted to smuggling them in too. At the time this was reported, he hadn't yet been sentenced. If you've watched this far, we want to hear your thoughts. What do you make of the sentences handed down? Were they enough, given the scale of the damage inside Lindholm? What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments. For more real stories daily, subscribe, turn on notifications, and we'll see you next time. There's always another case to be unveiled. Remember,